Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. Please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Consider hitting that great big blue join button if you haven't already to become an erudite otaku member. I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able. I'm just looking at my dropped frames count and bitrate. A few drop frames, 156, 1.6% drop frames right now. Not terrible, but not zero. The ideal amount of drop frames. I'm okay with this. I guess we shall see if I have any major issues with the bit rate at any point. So yeah, it should be somewhat okay. I'm back up to the 6 megabit connection today. Up there's a few more. 6 megabits today because my speed test before I started the stream showed normal speed, and yet here we are, 189 drop frames, 1.7%, despite a good speed test coming in that is up well above the 6 megabits that I'm uploading at. So yes, wonderful internet quality. What I'm thinking is that my internet modem has some sort of an intermittent disconnect on the upload. Maybe, I don't know. I think it just briefly dips to 0 and comes back. That's what I'm thinking right now. Just a really quick dip to 0. But I don't know, ultimately, what that issue is. Anyway, the game. Factorio with Angel's mods, and Bob's mods, and Space Extension. When we last left off, I had just gotten into mineral catalysts. That's what we did. The entire stream, last stream, was set up this. How do I have that cool voice like a gravel kind of sound? It's so cool. I don't know. I just talk. I just speak with my speaking voice. That's the voice that I tend to use. I actually speak a little bit higher than what I can go down to, but this is just what's most comfortable for me at the moment. Interesting on that sulfuric acid. Hello? Sulfuric? Ah, okay. It's probably getting enough. Maybe. It has to fill this tank again. Right. Right. It must have just done a delivery on the sulfuric acid. So I set up all of this beautiful rainbow of geode processing last time. It was absolutely glorious to get into 30 crystal catalysts per second. All of this is just on demand ish. You have to add the sulfuric acid in on it, as well as some coal for the coal filters. But pretty much on demand. 30 crystal catalysts per second. What I did not do last time that I did do between streams here, earlier, before starting this stream, is add in this little belt line that goes all the way up and over to load into my train station, and of course added on a couple of trains onto this line and set the sourcing priority. So wrapped this up off screen so that we can focus today on the next level of processing. Oh boy, the next level of our raw resource or processing, which is flotation. We do crushing, and then we do flotation, and then it'll be leaching after this, and then it'll be the quote-unquote ore refining crystallization process for crystals, pure crystals. However, I don't actually need to do all 6 of these flotation steps immediately, because these are all of the ores that require the crystal catalyst, as far as I'm aware. Crystal catalyst individual ore sorting is only impacting 5 of these. Interesting that you have to spend seedling and catalysts when the catalysts are just seedling to make the various gem ores. I'll need to do that at some point as well, but for this moment in time, my main concern is what do I need for the various thingies. I have 4, I actually need 5 of the 6. I don't need crotinium. That's the main thing here, is there's no crotinium in any of this 5. And barely any stereotype. 7.5 stereotype, but a ton of rubite. A ton of rubite. So I'll need quite a few flotation cells if I even remotely plan on getting this much stuff in the end. I generally speaking have been planning around the concept of having this much stuff because, well, frankly, we'll need significantly more than this much stuff. This is like a baseline to work with. But do I have the spare amount of all of the crushed? I don't think so. But I'm backed up on a whole bunch of other things right now. I think this is just going to be a matter of set it up and then worry about scaling afterwards to be able to consistently feed this. Once I start making the science that's consuming the materials at the mineral catalyst ores as well as on the crystal catalyst ores, then I'll sort of know where the bottlenecks are and I can address them. Yeah, the seedlings. Yeah, it's. So you're saying that the crystal catalyst is the substrate, whereas the seedling is the basic spots on that substrate that the crystals will grow from. I can understand that logic somewhat, but still. Anyway, have I revealed any gas nodes yet? The answer, of course, is hell no. I've just been occasionally looking around my map to try to find gas wells outside of my starting area. There are 0 gas nodes that I have revealed in this entire map thus far. Like, okay. Sure. That's gonna be fun. I've got so many multi-phase oils. The oil is everywhere, but no gas wells. No gas wells anywhere besides my starting area. Interesting. I need to figure out where I'm going to do this flotation. And I was considering maybe bringing this line up here, but I've also got this line that'll go out to the right that way. Do I even have enough space? I technically do, if my train stations are not huge. It's like, well, if the train stations aren't ginormous, I can absolutely have lines here. However, I was floating the idea of having my flotation done somewhere down in here. Just keep extending this line downwards and have another major intersection that will go left and right and just pick a side, basically, for my flotation. So I think that's what I will go with. This is going to need a bit of rail. I'll need a few units for this. How are my signals? I could use additional chain signals in particular. I'll grab a few more regular rails as well. fill up my remaining stacks, and off we go to build out my rail system so that I can have room to place these factories for flotation. Speaking of these factories for flotation, each of these factories is going to have a specific output of geodes that I have to deal with. And that's not great. The geodes are not really great to deal with because we can crush them into whatever it makes, the stuff, the things, the crystal dust. We can crush them into dust, but we can't really, it's like we can't dodge spending sulfuric acid to get rid of these geodes. It's a little unfortunate. Just trying to think of a way to annihilate my geodes here that are going to be a byproduct output from the hydro refining, aka flotation. So I can just go directly into crystal slurry. That'll ultimately use, I think, less. Is it less or more than just crushing? Because I can crush to get into dust and then void dust and void the crushed stone by going into mineralized water. That's really easy to void, but not so much the crystal dust, because you still have to spend that sulfuric. It's annoying. It annoys me greatly. That's 10 crystal dust into 15 sulfuric acid for the crystal slurry, so I think this does save on the sulfuric ultimately. But what this means is that each and every single place where I am doing flotation is going to need a sulfuric acid input. But I also get sulfuric wastewater out of this process, which is nice because that gives me the ability to make the sulfuric acid to void the stuff. Now, is it enough? I don't know. I don't know if it actually gives you enough sulfuric acid if you go through the processing to void those geodes, basically. If I add in this, of course it's not going to work on this because I'm in product input mode. So I have to make a new linked production block for that processing. That'll give me a heck of a lot in the end. I didn't separate all the things out. I'll need to probably do that. You have an alarm set so you never miss my videos. Excellent. That's always nice. Sometimes notifications don't go out. I do have my Discord that should have a notification when a video goes live. It doesn't work so well now with the live streams, that is. Because for some reason the bot that I use that connects to YouTube, it notifies as a video going live my scheduled streams. It notifies when I set the schedule stream, not when the stream actually goes live. So it's like, excuse me? Sure. I mean, it's useful to get that notice when the scheduled stream post goes live. But I would like it to say when I actually go live, too. I mean, I could just not schedule a stream and then have it give that post like, hey, it's posted, it's good, it's going when I go live. But I'd rather have people get that notice in the sub boxes that I'm going to be live. Because, you know, like 1,089 people get that notification. 1,089 is my subscriber count right now. For when I have scheduled the live stream. So yeah, it's a bit. Also, thank you YouTube for telling me that I am in fact live, and that my monetization is immediately limited from basically the moment I go live. Thank you so much for that, YouTube. I've done the manual review requests. It's always gone back to full monetization after going through the manual review process. It takes a full business day before that happens, which means that my stream on Sunday was approved at some point this morning for full monetization. It spent the entirety of the rest of the day on Sunday, as well as all day yesterday, at limited monetization. So, going forward, it's fine. And then this video, when I do the request for review for this stream, it will have a determination by tomorrow morning, I would think, because that's what happened last week. And ideally, eventually, the algorithm will learn that it shouldn't be flagging my streams as limited. Maybe it's because I use the word angel in the title. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's because I have the word angel. And that it might be flagging a controversial topic. You never know. Oh, you know what? I think it's angels because of, yeah, reasons I'm not gonna say. But I have a suspicion, actually, nothing to do with religion. Because angels is a name of a group. The second word of the name of a group. And that, I think, is what it might be trying to flag, but there's other uses for that word, and the algorithm needs to learn that. Anyway, what am I even doing here? I'm processing the sulfur. Yeah, I am processing the sulfur into... Where is it? Where is it? That. There you go. There you... Oh. Really? Oh, it's, the water. The purified water. Purified water is out of... Not that, please. Out of this. Yeah, please use that for your numbers. Input 937.5, output 937.5. So this would make a lot. Ah, come on. I need you to be up one. Why you no do thing? Why you no use stuff? It's making the 1875 for that, but I want it to make the things. I want it to use the stuff from here. I want this to be things. Helmod, please work with me here. Come on, Helmod, you can do it. I know you can do it, Helmod. Where's the freaking... Where's the recipe? Oh, product. That. Excuse me? Now it's broken! Yeah, this should be easier. Why is it trying to use all of the pure water? I need it to use this. There. Hey! It worked. So it makes 375, which is a lot. Out of all of this process. Now, if I look at 375 and I look at, well, I need to void all of this stuff. Is that enough to void all of this stuff? Well, if I look over at our geode processing for the catalysts, we can see that this uses 186 total to process significantly more geodes than previously. So, yeah, the amount of sulfuric wastewater produced out of flotation will absolutely produce enough sulfuric acid, more than enough sulfuric acid, to fuel the voiding processes for the blue geodes, or the red geodes, all the geodes. That was a question that I wanted to answer, and I have now answered it. Is the sulfuric acid output, or wastewater output, enough to feed the voiding? Now, there is an exception here, in that rubite produces nitric wastewater, and not sulfuric wastewater. Ah, boy. Oh, that can be a pain. There is the concept of putting the wastewater onto my train network and having a separate processing facility for the sulfuric wastewater. That converts it into sulfuric acid, and then I have an input as well for sulfuric acid in at each of these locations, as well as a train putting out the nitric wastewater. Am I okay with that? Sure, but this is one of those okay, but I would also need to have some overflow control voiding for that, and I think I'll do that. I will do that. So let's get to our rail stuff that I wanted to do, the rail expansion. Now that I've done that planning and that research, it's time to expand my rails. There is a good point to have this with that off to the side, just to offer a location for trains to do a U-turn. Just a regular U-turn. Now, am I seeing myself ever upgrading that particular intersection? Nah. No. So let's build. My Amazon device thought I called its name when I said let's Actually, I think I said let's and it thought I said its name. Like, okay, I can see that, actually. I can see that. Yeah, I'm a little far down at this point. I want to do, I think, this spacing. So, right. I'm just going to put this station down here. Here. As well as the intersection for it, and then it's U. Say hello to the majestic high throughput four-way intersection. The first use of the entire four-way intersection. which, yeah, it's great. I like it. Now, can a train do a U-turn on this intersection? That I don't know. It looks like maybe. So train comes in from this way. It can go... Can it do a big U-turn? It can go this way, around, and down. It can go this way, over here, follow this loop, around, over, and around this loop. But that connects here to go forward. So it can go all the way around to go that way. But I don't think that it has a means of actually doing a full U-turn on here. Which sucks! Like, what? That's an extreme oversight. For such a high throughput thing, like, where are the spots to do actual U-turns? Not at the intersections, clearly. Clearly not at the intersections. This looks very complex, but it works. For the types of trains that I'm using, the length of trains that I'm using. Then, I mean, obviously I'm going to be building to the left, my flotation. Here, so I'm thinking flotation to the left, maybe other steps to the right. Crotinium. That's another important point. The crotinium, I think, it gives some chloric wastewater, but it also doesn't get used right now, which means that it only gets used to make the crystals. Ah, cupric sludge. I'll need it eventually for that. And the reason being that I need to go all the way up the entire chain to crystals for thorium ore sorting. It's the entire cupric and ferrous crystal chain to get it into thorium, and that's going to use crotinium chunks, which, as I said, chloric wastewater here. The next step actually uses hydrochloric acid, which part of the intent is that you would use your wastewater to make the acid used in the crystal process, but I'm not going to do that. That's fine if you're doing all of those processes in the same location, but I'm not. Not even remotely am I using them in the same location. I am out of rails in my vehicle now. I have chewed through all of the rail in my vehicle by placing down that massive intersection. So, point being, we're doing this times 6 for each of the major ore types, even though I am only actually going to be using 5 of them at the moment. And I'm going to make sure that I have some sufficient spacing between these locations. Just built out that line there, and to get a radar down, because extra sight would be great, but also more map revealing would be fantastic for me. I would love to find a gas well location and build my rails out to it. I mean, this is a very pretty, big, high throughput intersection. It's just, there's no spot for a train to do a U-turn on it. Like, excuse me? Why? Why no U-turn? So there's going to be another few lines here potentially revealed that'll help, maybe. 3% drop frames. That is... eh. The occasional hitch. So, what have I been playing lately outside of just Factorio for streams and such? As you might guess, Genshin Impact has been the thing that I have been playing. And, yeah. That game is getting updated today. At least today, US time, anyway. 5 p.m. Eastern US time, which is my time zone. Genshin Impact's servers will go down to do the 1.1 update. And it is scheduled to last for 5 hours. They are giving everyone 300 Primo Gems as compensation for the downtime, which is way more than anyone would be able to actually get in that amount of time unless they are a new account. So I need here to convert this to a fluid in, and then I want to have a fluid out. So one more station, but let's get the fluid first. Where do I have stuff with fluids? A fluid request. I should have a fluid request for sulfuric acid somewhere? Somewhere. Or do I? Always great questions around here. It's like, am I actually requesting the sulfuric acid anywhere? Yes, here. Mineral catalysts. That's exactly it. Right there. I need one of you. Going right there. Our sulfuric acid at stuff and things. The first. And then same thing, just again. There. Not one of these stations, though, but we're using a regular train station this time. And this time everything is actually an input rather than output. Okay. And it's gonna be supply stuff. Yeah, supplying stuff at this station. Do I have to think about anything else here? No. So it's going to supply sulfuric wastewater. That's the idea. Or whatever the wastewater is from this flotation process. And it will bring in some sulfuric acid in order to take care of the geodes. I could load the geodes onto a train and process the geodes, use them, have priority to make sure that I always prefer using them over other stuff, but that's complex, and I don't feel like doing it. It's a very simple calculation for me. Do I want to do it? No. So will I do it? No. I will not. I will, however, grab that and paste it there. And that is station the second. I need 6 of these, with sufficient spacing between them for scaling. Now, the way that I will do this is I will place the intersection down and go from there. I definitely have to go back. I have to go back for more stuff, more rails in particular, because I am quickly running out of rail units in my inventory. I have nowhere near enough to do 6 total of these, 4 more of these. But I also don't have the Jax tanks, and I don't have the, at least I don't think I have the Jax tanks. Do I have the Jax tanks? Jax tanks. I have 2! 2 left. Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be a pain, because, I think I just barely got it off of that. Okay, 4-way intersection. I need enough space between these. Yes, I am going to actually, for the first time, second time, technically, actually build over top of an ore resource without mining it. I am not intending on mining any of these patches here. I could add ore eraser, I know, but I'm not going to. So the spacing will be 5 big power poles in between. Technically 7, but I count this one and this one as part of the intersections power poles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gap 5 between these intersections. So if I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the spacing. That's the spacing. That's where these will copy. So just go right over top, paste, and paste. And there you go. There's my flotation. So this is all flotation. All over here. And then over here, maybe leaching. Over on this side of things. Same thing, I'll need 6 for leaching. Let's place all of the rail that I can currently place. I will need to pick up additional nanobot ammo, because it looks like I am pretty much out. I may run out of nanobot ammo before I run out of rail segments to place. And that I just did. I just ran out of nanobot ammo. Let's get more, shall we? Sounds like a plan to me. So, how are things going? Chat is quiet, and I know that there are 8 viewers, according to YouTube, at the moment. I've gotten no pop-ups today about subscribers / members joining the team of erudite otakus today. Last stream we had 2 new people join. As far as I'm aware, I don't think I had any in between time. I can look this up, though, ideally, if I don't get hit by a train in the meantime. Yep, still 7. 7 glorious, beautiful members as of this moment in time. Then, if I look at everything else, dashboard, 1,089 subscribers. If you're not subscribed, a reminder, please consider subscribing to see all of my content beyond just the streams. I have a Factorio playthrough going right now, as well, through a regular video upload schedule, and not through streaming. It was my reward for everyone for reaching the 1,000 subscriber mark, and it is currently ongoing. I am at the point of the advanced buildings. I now have advanced buildings after getting through advanced tech cards. So now I am scaling everything in order to then get into rocket launches. So I can get some optimization tech cards. And from there, get into the singularity tech cards and just laugh. And just laugh from that point, because singularity beacons are just real good. They're real good for speeding things up. But anyway, it's going to take us a while to get to modules in this playthrough. Just a little while to do that. What am I looking for? My signals. Make sure the vehicle is loaded with signals. Also, Jack's tanks. Am I making them here? Yes. I actually am making Jack's tanks here. Alright. Let us continue. I will need additional flotation cells. A few additional flotation cells. I'm going to go ahead and add in the protinium chunks as well, and mark it as 15, just to get an idea as to stuffs and things. Also, lots of purified water. Oh my goodness, this is definitely a thing to keep in mind. I will need a lot of hydro plants. I have 23 of them on me, though, as well as a few deep water wells. But what about clarifiers? I will need a lot of clarifiers. We'll need to do quite a bit of clarification going forward. Alright, I think, yes, the flotation. I need 20, 40, 60, 120. That's 110. So, 4 more. 3 more. Hey, go faster, please. Please. Move faster. I need my flotation cells. I need all of them. That's 8. 9. And here we go. With our 10th. Excellent timing on that. Got him when they were beginning to get required, so I don't have to come back here again. However, what can I throw away? Oh, hey. Yeah, trains. Trains are good, too. I like trains. Trains would be good to have. Toss away some of this stuff here that I'm not actively using. Oh, freaking. I actually do need those. Let's see. Get rid of these. Get rid of that 1 stack. And then toss in those flotation cells. I'm going to grab additional power poles, and I just had it in my mind. What was that other thing I just had in my mind? Tell me. I know you know. I know you know what I just had in my mind. I was thinking about something. Inserters would be good. Belt would be good. I've got a bunch of red belt in the vehicle, though, so... eh. Inserters. Get rid of those. I swear, there was something that caught my mind that I was thinking about. Oh, trains. Right. Locomotives. The locoist. The craziest of crazy. And I need the fluid wagons. Where am I making the fluid wagons? Oh boy. Here. That is good. That will be fine-ish for now. Could use more rail, but eh. We'll likely have to come back. So, flotation. A reminder of what exists in the Pie Suite for me. Because this is a very real process that is done to enrich ores. But we're using it in a slightly different way here. We are enriching a very fantasy item in this case. Oh, did I adjust the doohickey? The power pole on the bottom one? I don't remember. Did I? Yes, I did. Good! Ah, so many trees! The enemy! The trees! Death to the trees! All the trees must die! But first I build. Must build rail. Do I even have enough supply stations? I don't know. Apparently I do. For this, anyway. What about the next? I need 6 more. Oh, I have precisely 6 more. Oh boy. And I need another 4 train stops, and I need another 4 requester stops. Huzzah! Barely enough stuff to make the final set over here. What about rail units? I don't have enough rail units, sadly. It's about 440, 50 for each of these stations, somewhere around there. More than 420, because the blueprint is 420 per station, so I don't have enough to finish the last one. How unfortunate. But I should have everything else. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, and wow, I ran out very fast. Okay. Sure. I'm not going to go back to pick up more stuff quite yet. I want to build. Let us build some stuff with our flotation cells. Ah, that's a great point. So, on the bottom sets, I'm going to have to build on this side in this gap because it's a bit too close to this intersection here. On this side, I'll have to build on I'll build this side with the bigger gap, because I don't want to be restricted by mirroring the other side. So we're gonna look a little different than how I've done it thus far. Okay, flotation. This process. Did I set up an individual thingy for flotation? Of course not. I want stereotyte in this one. I want 15 of these chunks for this. How many do I need ultimately? 15. Cool. This one's doing 15. I need 20 flotation cells. I need the infrastructure for the purified water. Mark 2, please, and default that to that recipe. 3 hydro plants, a bit of water to feed it, deal with the saline, and then load the wastewater and destroy the blue geodes. Sounds good to me. I don't know about you. Sounds good to me. Dealing with that many geodes, though, the 3.75 blue geodes is going to require liquefiers. One of them! Precisely. One of them. It's always good to have an extra, because this is an average. This 3.75 is just an average. This is a percentage-based output, from what I am aware. 50%, that means that I can occasionally get lucky and end up with more geodes. Now, I get that throughput-wise, it will end up being 3.75 as time approaches infinity, but there will be periods where it'll be higher and periods where it will be lower. And I would just prefer being able to deal with that fully, always. And it just hurts to clear out crystal slurry like this. It just hurts a bit, but we're doing it anyway. We are doing it anyway, and the input is over here. I need to shift this to this side and shift this to this side. Oh, I need more pumps. Interesting. There you go. Let's request the sulfuric acid. I should rename this properly now. Our sulfuric acid at saphirite chunks. That's going to supply sulfuric waste at sap chunks 1. This is going to request the sap, crushed sap, and supply the sap chunks. Depot for sap chunks. And there we go. That is the entirety of this station named. What did I name the crushed? Just so that I have that. Crushed sap. Yep, there we go. So this will be sap chunks this time. Give power. Do the request under where? Sulfuric acid. There we go. Bring me some acid. Some sulfuric acid. Oh boy. Step 1. And bring me the crushed sapphirite. Much appreciated. 20 flotation cells. You know, I'm probably just gonna do everything at least 15, except for the rubite. Rubite I'll probably do 30. Just to have some extra in the places that need extra, or can produce extra. What about the depot for the sulfuric wastewater? That's right, I will need that. It would have come up, but yes, I need the depot for the wastewater. Just, you know, one somewhere I can extend down a bit. I am pretty sure I have this space for one more. One more. And that can be the sulfuric waste at sap chunks 1. Do I really want it? Do I really want it like that, though? I think I may actually have a separate depot just for the waste waters out of all this. Maybe? I don't know. I think I will. Or at the very least, I'll have all these named the same. Nah, I'll deal with it. There's several solutions to this. This is one way. Having everything with a unique name and then having a supply priority that has all of the different names on it. That's the way I think I'm gonna go for this particular time. How am I gonna load stuff in here? Great question. How am I gonna get stuff loaded in here? Like this? Slash on the other side, most likely. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Right? That's fine. Flotation! Times 20. I'll do it here. Give me those. Looks like I need additional pipe to ground. Alright, give me some additional pipe to ground. Thanks. 4, 6, 8, 10, 20. Ah, good. My spacing was great for this. Let's start on this side. In my previous playthrough, I had filter inserters and separate lines. I may end up doing that at scale for the outputs. Because remember, I did play this when I first started consistently streaming last year, relatively early last year. My first playthrough was technically an Angels playthrough. I began playing the Pie Suite after that. And because the Pie Suite is so much longer than an Angels, Bob's Space Extension playthrough, I had more days where I ended up streaming the Pie Suite. Once this was done, I just kept going with the Pie Suite, and then everything went from there. That's why the Pie Suite ended up a big part of my content. More people watched that than watched this. So when I finished this, I stuck with the Pie Suite and didn't do much else besides the Pie Suite. But now we're coming back, having learned quite a bit from the Pie Suite. Okay, and then I will need the minimum 3 making purified water here. One clarifier. And the water in. I mean, that's pretty simple. Oh boy, this is... a lot of power poles. A lot of power poles. So, yeah, this gets interesting when I need to provide power to all of the tiles. This will absolutely work this way. Guess we'll keep that there. Flotation has officially begun, but I am very much considering, in the long term, switching this over to being filter inserters, because right now, the way that I have to do this is to, use a red splitter. Do I have any red splitters on me? No. I don't. Huh? Weird. Alright then. Fortunately, this is Bob's, with Bob's Logistics, and I can change the lanes of the outputs. So you're going to filter the blue geodes, and there you go. Filter those geodes, and they will get voided, and then the output of chunks will come down here. Put those away. Red Belt. Hi. Nice to see ya. And there you go. Ta-da! Chunks! The chunky chunks. However, we're not done yet. I just put another locomotive on a locomotive. Cool. Take these. Take 2 stacks of these. In the long term. Get some fuel. Sap chunk. Supply depot. Full cargo and circuit condition, and you can set yourself to auto magic. Then more pipe is on the agenda. Oh boy. Glorious pipe. Now, another locomotive. This will look a little weird because it's a different type of locomotive. What did you miss? I have officially I've set up flotation for Sapphirite at this point, with the voiding of the geodes on it. It's great. It's fantastic, even. This train needs some fuel. I don't really have that much fuel. I don't really have any fuel. I have 130 coal. But yeah, this will be waste. Supply to depot. Full cargo, circuit condition, but I'm not gonna tell it to go yet. Yeah, that's about it. I've built my area that I'm going to have all of my flotation, and I am in the process of building it out now. It's as simple as that. Just building it out one thing at a time. I am going to need to overflow valve clarify the remaining sulfuric waste water. I mean, I read my comments as we go. The thing about a lot of the YouTubers is that their comments fly at miles a minute. They just fly by, and it physically eventually becomes impossible to read and respond to every comment that is made. And YouTube's chat defaults to top comments and not all live comments, so YouTube itself actually filters live chat in a sense, by defaulting to a top comments or top chat versus the full live chat. You have to physically set it from top to live, and I think some streamers just don't switch it. Don't realize it exists, maybe? That's a thing, and a default setting that you can't change. You have to manually switch every single stream. But anyway, this is 20, and it produces 375. 375 divided by 160 is 3. I only need 3 here. Give them power. And that will be enough to void the wastewater once these tanks fill and such. I'll set you to automatic, but you can't really go to your depot yet because I need more rail. I hear a kitten. I hear a kitten behind me. One of the kittens is here. Which one? I don't know, but someone's here. Is it my Dolly or is it my Ollie? But they're making noises. I hear the noises behind me. Oh, I need to cough. Muted. Was able to mute. To clear the throat. Something about that swig of coffee made me cough. Anyway, I need belt, I need rail, I need stuff and things. I need thingies. Let's just default to reds now. What can I put back in my vehicle? Yeah, I saw your comment on the video about the U-235 color. Making yourself green 255. Yeah. 71, 171, just, you know, super green all the time. What? Hmm. Well, that's interesting. Do you see the difference? I type in 71, 171, 0, 71, 171. That's a lot lighter blue than that blue. Huh. Cool. It's like, huh. My inputting the code for the color gives a different color than inputting the same values on the sliders. Like, huh? How does that work? That's interesting. I guess. A bug? Most likely. Anyway, I need rail. The thing is I need to, like, fill my vehicle with rail. May as well grab a few other things as well. Oh my goodness, almost out of train signals. Need those, need those, need those. Get rid of the partial stacks. Okay. I think I'm about good. Make sure I have the red splitters, please. That's rather important. I'm gonna throw some of those in. Inventory management is definitely a big deal. I need undergrounds. If I make all colors max, then slide green to halfway, and then red to a quarter of its max, I'll get a cool blue. So you put all max, you do red down to a quarter, ish, and then you do green to half. Yeah, you get something along these lines. I prefer the cobalt blue and or cerulean as my favorite shades of colors. I still don't get why this 071171 is a different, like the code-based one is different than this. Like, how? How do I have a different shade of blue? Like, what? How is it a different shade of blue? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, this is the color I want. And yet those physical sliders don't do it. Liquid nitrogen is the color. Ah, I see. Let's get going, I think. Do I need anything of particular importance? Some fuel for trains. That would be good. Just a bit of fuel for trains. Throw some in the vehicle as well. And let's head on off. I need to finish this off. Time could make a video on the suit changes. Maybe. We shall see about all that. It all comes down to needing time, ultimately. And yeah. The thing about that is... Yes, no path, I know. I know, train. I know, you don't have a path right now. We'll give you a path by walking down here. By getting back in the car and driving down here. And driving down here with my rails to finish off that station. I am going to need to do this to all of my stations. Maybe. Oh, here it comes. Hello. Hello, train. Nice to see you. Yeah, because that needs to go. On every single one of these, that particular signal needs to go away. So I can paste this in. What? Oh. What? Excuse me, but that's marked as obstruction. Thank you. There you go. That's the extra depot. I need to define my sourcing priority for this wastewater. wherever that exists. Sulfuric wastewater. At sapchunks1. And I will append, this little edit append, the additional stations as we go along. Okay, that's sapphirite chunks. Let's get that also defined. Sapphirite, sap chunks. And we are good to go for that. Big stretch. I need to stretch. My back. But yeah, I'm between the Factorio video recording and the streaming that I do, my time to make content is used up pretty much at this point. I don't really have any time to do anything else anymore, especially because I need to work, actually, in the afternoons. I need to do stuff that earns money for me, and yeah, unless things magically suddenly change, I have to get into working through the afternoons. I mean, well, everything I do is research and making bigger factories. Yeah, that's Factorio. That is the appeal of Factorio, period. Not just how I play Factorio to attract people in. And I think people like watching someone else do research rather than doing it themselves. I think that's part of it. Yes, YouTube can earn that's part of the point. But I'm not at that level yet. I mean, I've got 7 members on my channel. I very much appreciate it. I've got several people providing monthly support through Patreon, although that's about to go down by an entire $20 next month, at least, depending on how many people don't renew going forward. One person is not renewing on Patreon with December. I understand, but again, it's a big chunk to lose at one time. And yeah, it's just not enough to live off of. I need to make sure that I continue to eat and pay my bills that I have. What few bills I have that need to be paid at the moment. I am about $50 per week short of where I should be for my current living situation, which is also not the best living situation. I'm still $50 per week short. And that's assuming everything else stays the same. If things change with the beginning of the new year, then I'm suddenly 100 a week short. Why were we in a spaceship in the first place? I do not know. Because yeah, the whole scenario here is we've crash landed on this planet. Well, why were we here in the first place? Now there's mod sets that come to their own conclusions why you're here. You're here to extract resources from the planet, send stuff off planet, some are just you were traveling and you've crash landed here just as a fluke accident, and now you're trying to get back off the planet. You have to talk to your home planet, get a signal out, but yeah. So the rocket's too small to hold a person. Well, the rocket is not meant to hold a person. The rocket's meant to hold a satellite slash any other item that you throw into it. Anyway, I will pretty much just copy paste this. I don't really see much of a reason not to. Because that's really all that this is. It's just a copy paste job. Granted, also a mirrored setup. You figured the color out when using the command. It is in reality color 071171255, and then the UI sets it to 0711710, and the last value can't be changed in the UI, and defaults to 255 with the command. So if I added 0, it gives that shade. 0711710, it gives that shade, versus 0771171, which is that shade, which is, again, not the same shade. Okay, so if this is supposed to be 0711710, now why is this code 0711710 a different shade than this? Like, I mean, is it reading it differently? I don't know. I don't know. And then 255. There. Yes, it's clearly at least 255, but maybe it's not 0, maybe it's 100. Still, that's a slightly different shade. Maybe 150. No, not quite the same. It's not 0. Or maybe 155. 155. Still a slight shade difference. When I put the code in, just watch as it slightly changes. But yeah, I need it that. Yeah, there's some other number in the UI that it's defaulting to, and it's not 0. Not 0. So my alarm has gone off to indicate that it is the halfway point of today's stream, and therefore it is time to take a brief break of a few minutes. Just looking down to clear the stuff off my phone. If you've been enjoying the stream thus far, please be sure to consider doing all of the social stuff down below. I've got this great big blue join button down there, as well as a Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able, and I will be back in a few minutes. And I returned. Welcome back. I've got a dolly. She's come to say hello. Yes. Hello, my dolly. How's my girl? How's that pretty girl? Huh? How's that pretty dolly? She okay? Come to say hello. She wants to play. Most likely. Most likely she wants playtime, but it's recording time, and I need to move my mic a little bit. Squeak, 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 squeak. Hi, you're looking. What is that great big thing up there, huh? What is that big black thing? My dolly. Okay. So where were we? Deciding that this is going to be the steertite. Supply steer. Chunks. Request. Crushed steer. And I've got an Ollie who is extremely squirmy. My Ollie? Yes. The Ollie is extremely squirmy. They're squirmy. They're not always in one location though. Did he just... Am I scratched? Maybe. Like, am I scratched? We shall see. I mean, I could have a camera pointing at the spot on the desk that they lay down at, but they're not always there. They're not always there, which is part of the issue. And of course, another camera would be, you know, money that I don't have. Any investment like that would have to be through debt. And I'd rather not add debt, more debt, to the equation. I have too much as it stands after getting this lighting, the replacement green screen, and some replacement memory for my computer last year, when I realized that, hey, my memory is dying, and the game is crashing because of a problem with my memory. Yeah, that was fun times when I realized that, oh hey, there's memory modules that are not good in my computer, and when my computer is using a lot of memory, specifically while playing the Pi Suite in Factorio, it was crashing the game from it. Anyway, I do have a dolly resting next to me. I'm not going to go see if I would still physically need another camera, and I don't have one at the moment. Maybe... I don't know. I don't think I can rig up something. I used to have previous webcam, but I'm pretty sure I got rid of it. Unfortunately, I did have a less capable webcam. Request crush steer at steer chunks 1. That's the name of this. That's the name of that, and this is supplying. Hello, Dolly. Besides, they do this. They do this all the time. Hi. What are you doing to my green screen? What are you doing to my green screen? Oh, so now you're grooming? Now she's grooming? What are you doing? Dolly? What you doing? She's sitting on the back of the chair. She's sitting. Hi. What are you up to? Meow. Yes, I heard you. Okay, sulfuric waste at... Would you not? Would you not? Ah! Get unhook. Unhook thyself. Da baby. Da baby. I have a dolly now. She's here. Hello. That's a pretty girl. It's time for kitten. It's time for kitten. Reminder that they're nearing 8 months. They're nearing 8 months old. This on the 15th. They will be 8 months old. 3/4 of the way to being cats. Nearly. Oh boy, they're almost actual cats. Once they're a year old, 1 year old, that's when they become cats and not kittens. That's all those names. I need at steer chunks 1 and then D steer chunks 1 applied to all of these. Huzzah! It took us 11 minutes, but we finally got the stuff. Or like close to 11 minutes, but we've now named all the things. Oh boy. Noises. She went climbing at the window. She went to explore the window out by the printer and all that great stuff. Anyhoozle, I need all of this. But in reverse? Maybe? Yeah, just in reverse. Vehicle! Oh no, vehicle! Oh no! You're lagging, oh noes! There may have just been a spike of drop frames. There's 8,035 drop frames now, 4.2%. But that may have just spiked. May. I need undergrounds. Let's get some more piped grounds. More pipe! More pipe is required. Oh, hello, train. Yeah, there are other things that are on my list of things that I need to get for my setup here. Having an extra camera for the kittens, it's part of it. but not part of the broader plan. The broader plan is more like a $700, $800 plan, because what I need more than anything else at this point is to basically rebuild my computer. My CPU is quite aged at this point, and the motherboard as well. So I could really use an upgraded motherboard CPU. My CPU is the top-end Haswell E Intel processor, the i7-5960X. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it here. Yes. As per my task manager, I have an Intel i7-5960X. Overclocked, mind you, but still not the fastest thing ever anymore, sadly. And also, I got it years ago. Like, it's been like 5 years, 6. When was it? 13? 14? When I got this specific one, I think it was 2014. So it's been a while. It's been to that point in time where it would be worth getting an upgrade, and I can get an upgrade that is much, like over twice as fast for a fraction of the price that I originally paid for this at the moment through AMD, actually. Ryzen 9, whatever. And they just came out with new processors as well for AMD, so it's like, okay, sure. This will be the time. I came here for Pipe to Ground. What did I do when I was first messing around with uranium for the first time in vanilla? I mean, I looked at a guide. I don't really like going blind into this type of stuff. I do research. My brain says research. Find the answer. So when it came to uranium, I had watched a guide for it. And I've only done vanilla uranium like twice. I don't really do it all that much. Setups for uranium processing. Now, I did a uranium processing setup in my previous Angels playthrough, and that is the last time I did a nuclear power setup. That is the last time I did nuclear power. And that was over a year ago. Yeah, good times. Good times thus far. But anyway, a hardware change on my computer would cost a lot. Quite a bit on that. So, yeah. All other priorities that I have right now besides adding a webcam for the cats. This makes stereotype. That makes the yellow geodes. Please use reds. In fact, just use reds across the board from here on out. That would be great. I should get new graphics. I mean, I have a 1080 Ti graphics. I'm pretty sure I don't need new graphics. Like, that has not been my limiting factor. Oh, I make my own setups for the majority of things, but I have to understand the mechanics first. And I researched so that I could understand the mechanics. Like I didn't research or pay much attention to like blueprints. I didn't look at blueprints for the uranium setup. Is I looked and like, oh, this is a ratio to build to. Okay, now I'll build a build at that ratio the way that I want to build it. That's what I do. I get ideas from blueprints. I try to tend to not to use them, with a few exceptions, mainly out of my own laziness. But anyway, I need this here. For example, in my Factorio playthrough that I'm doing right now, I have used a blueprint that Ave posted, viewer, for a self-contained power setup, doing biomethanol-based power out of wood production. Just you put the wood down, the setup makes 90 megawatts of power minus the power used for the buildings itself. And I placed it down, and then I made some modifications to it to design it in a way that I prefer designing it, which is separating out the actual power production grid from the power grid that's supplying power to all the buildings, and then put next to it a setup of solar panels with accumulators to power the buildings that are making additional power, more power than the equivalent space of the stuffs. Yes, of the stuffs. And this is in no way, shape, or form actually accurate. I needed it something like that in reality. On this spacing here. But yeah, I tend to try to design myself. Just there's certain things I don't want to take the time to really do much. Have I ever wanted to get back into an old save file from previous game version? No. I don't really look at previous stuff. I have a memory. I don't know if as you've watched my content, you may or may not have noticed I have a memory. I can sort of remember some of this stuff, how I built my bases. To I mean, there's checking how I did my old bases to see how I've gotten better since, but I know as I'm building stuff, I remember how I built things over a year ago originally. Like I've fundamentally changed how I build my factories since then. And if I look back, it's just there's nothing more I can glean from that because I've completely and fundamentally changed how I make my bases since back then. Because there was a lot. There was a lot of stuff. I was primarily a belt user. I used a main bus. My last Angels playthrough was a main bus build for the entirety of the Angels Bob Space Extension experience. Main bus. The whole thing. The entire thing. All of the sciences through rockets. Main bus. Or technically it's a mix between main bus and robots, logistics at the end of the bus, but it was a big bus, effectively. Just, and all of the science and all of that, and module scaling, and yeah, just a mess with very, very, very little rail in that base. And the only real thing I used rail for, bringing ore to my refining setup, bringing in steatite, sapphirite, rubite, givelite, bombonium, just bringing that stuff to my processing facility on like single rail lines. That was the entire basis, just vanilla mechanic, just not using any train management system, just back and forth, load, unload. Really easy setups. Because I hadn't figured out trains a year ago. I had not taken the time and learned the mechanics behind a rail network. And I have done that since then, and I have not gone back since then. I have, once I learned rails and started using rails on a regular basis, I began to rush rails. So now, the way I play is I rush rails in the early game. Do everything I can to get into rails as quickly as I can. Yes, and the robot main bus is fine. The robot base with main bus is fine. It's just it doesn't scale quite as well. There is a bit with the scaling on it, and this needs to process yellows. And I need to import the sulfuric acid. It's a big consumer of resources because of all the belt that you need. It's so much belt. It's so much belt that it can be a bit problematic. Sure, I'll do that on here. And there we go. Let's get a locomotive on each of these. Well, yeah, I belted my ore to smelting over great distances as well. That was the thing I did. What mod do I use to make undergrounds go for longer? This is just Bob's. Like, this is Bob's mods. I mean, the basic settings on Bob's mods for undergrounds. Like, red underground belt is just longer in Bob's mods because this is not vanilla red step. This is vanilla blue equivalent, not red, actually. This is roughly red, and then there's the grays that are even smaller. I don't even have any grays on me, but yeah. It adds how much? So it adds a gap of 4. Or 5, whatever. It's distance of 7 versus 11. So it adds 4 each tier. Yes, and about bus, you can see what's lacking. You could also see what's lacking on one of these buses, too. Or on a train network system like this. You will discover what's missing. I've not had trouble. Sulfuric waste. So supply steer at depot steer. Bulk cargo circuit condition, and you can do your thing, and I have to define the priority. Append desulfuric steer chunks, and I can add the actual steer chunks here. D steer chunks. 2 down, 4 to go. Oh boy. And you should be limited to like 3 stacks. So supply, steer chunks 1, depot, steer chunks 1, full cargo, and circuit condition, and go! Also, this isn't all operating... Oh, it is? It's because I'm using the red belt, and it's faster throughput. Oh, I need my trains to hold more. That's the thing. I need it to hold more stuff in one of these wagons, because it's not bringing it fast enough. It's not bringing me my crush fast enough to keep flowing consistently. Oh boy. More lag. Oh boy. The good thing is that now it's just copy and pasting for these other builds. Now it is just a copy-paste job. So this is a copy-paste over here and over here. And this is a copy-paste here and here. I need to get this as well. Right around there with the power. Ta-da! And you are still waiting to fill up on that. Oh, you're not placed correctly. Now you can void all the stuff. This would make a bit. This would be out of 20. 375, yeah, so that's fine in 3. Alright, off I go. Which is going to be what? That is the question. It's all coming down to what do I want where. And just switching over all the recipes and things. Ah, right, the belt. I can use an upgrade planner. On all the belts. Just have to be very careful with the upgrade planner. Also, underground belt, or pipe. Lots of pipe. Lots of pipe required. So this is going to be, let's say, ammonium. Oh, I need more inserters. Great. I think I need to make a restock. Head on out for a restock. Now let's see, can I do this in an hour? I will attempt to do all of this in this hour. Because once this is done, it's time to do the individual ore sorting and processing for all of the different ore types that use crystal catalysts. That's going to be fun because we have, what, 5? 5 items in here. There's 4 ore types, which will need to go through ore sorting, ingot production, and then the actual casting. So ore sorting, ingots, casting into whatever plates, and then whatever alloys as well will need to pull in the ingots in separate factories for whatever alloys. That's going to include brass, primarily, at this phase of the game. Invar as well. I'm pretty sure that's going to be, I think it's nickel and steel. Boy, I'm going to need a lot more steel. Now, the fluorite is going to be used to make hydrofluoric acid. And this is, yeah, this. From fluorite and sulfuric acid, we'll get calcium sulfate and hydrofluoric. Now, please tell me that this one calcium sulfate will produce the 50 sulfuric. Please. Of course not. Of course not. You'll need to keep adding in sulfuric acid. Yeah. This is a problem because we have to deal with the lime. The lime... What was it again? There was a way to get rid of the lime. I thought. I want a way to get rid of lime. Like, please. Please. It's the filter. Sulfur processing 3. That's how to get rid of the lime. So you make the porous lime filter, you scrub the porous lime filter to get some wastewater, and then the used filter gets processed back into a filter frame and acid gas, and the acid gas can be removed. So this consumes lime in this process, and you can just void or use it as a primary production of stuff, of the sulfur. That's really what it's meant for, but you can also use this to clear out excess lime. The problem is that this is a chemical science tech, and yeah. Let's just hope I don't need hydrofluoric acid before chemical science. I'm pretty sure I don't need it before chemical science. So by the time I have to deal with this, I won't need it anymore. Because, yeah, advanced lead smelting 3 unlocks this hexafluorosilicic acid to get into lead ingots. And that is chemical science. Is it okay if you start playing this mod pack and map so you can follow along? Sure, but I make no guarantees as to the map being identical. In fact, I may suggest not on this map because we're going to have to deal with no gas wells spawning. That's the other thing, is like you need all of the like settings for RSO as well, the resource spawner overhaul. Did I post the thing? Did I post the thing? Hello, Discord. String shares. Did I post? I did post the Space Angels map exchange string on my Discord, on the Factorio string sharing channel. So if you do !Discord, ideally, Streamlabs will give you that link to my Discord. If you're not on there already, it's the Space Angels map exchange string text file under the Factorio string sharing channel. Huzzah! I have prepared for this somewhat. That is the exact point, and that's why I have my mod list on my website for people to try to emulate this. I may put my first save up on my Discord if the file size permits, so that people can use that save to sync and download mods from it, primarily. That seems like a good idea, because that would allow for lots of things. What am I doing? I needed pipe to ground. So let's get pipe to ground. Let's go to the mall and pick up some pipe to ground. I am very much looking forward to getting into chemical science, but I need to get into silicon first. In particular, I need the silicon. Hello! Welcome to the last 50-ish minutes of my stream today. I am planning. So, chemical science. What will I ultimately need for this? The electronic circuit boards, and that's going to... and sodium hydroxide, obviously. I can only do this through salt electrolysis right now, out of saline, and the only real ways to get the saline is just salination, but... that first. These boards. I mean, yeah, you may follow along. I've just explained that in order to follow along, you have to get the map exchange string off of my Discord, as well as make sure that you have gone back to video day 1 of this stream and gotten all of the settings matched and on RSO and such, and gotten the mod list off of my website to do that. It's possible. It's a little work, but you can do that. Will I be making Bob's Logistics Science Packs in this plate? Yes. I will be making all of the science. I will be doing all of the science in this playthrough, because the Space Extension will use all of the science, and I have Space Extension. Yeah, so these I can do. Transistors are going to use silicon wafers. Need monosilicon. Needs silicon. Seeds, nitrogen, molten, ingots, etc. Do I want to go through the the trichlorosilane processing. That would require the hydrogen chloride, and I would rather not. Depends on how I get the saline water to do that. I can do that. It's fine. I'll do that. Silicon ingot to process to get into the silicon wafers. Make sure you move seriously, make sure that if you're loading anything onto a train, you load or putting anything by the main bus, move monosilicon and do the wafers where you need the wafers. That is a massive difference in density, and it is one item in and one item out. Like, move one item versus 6 items. That should be pretty obvious to folks. I would hope. Also plastic, which is only out of liquid plastic. So I'm going to need to get propene out of ideally not, but it's actually the benefit of having everything on a train network, including the different ore types, is very specifically to make these catalysts super simple to use. So yeah, it makes these catalysts very, very, very nice and easy for me. I don't have to worry about them anymore. I remember my previous playthrough where I did everything through the main bus. It's like, okay, now I need to add 10 ores onto my main bus because you need all of these ores for these catalysts. Like, excuse me? Yeah, it was not fun logistics in particular. Not that great fun for logistics. I need more everything. I need stuff. I need the everything. I need inserters. Inserters! Inserters to insert. I don't need those filters. Get rid of those filters. I've got those from the car. I need... What do I need? / want to grab from here. I don't know. I don't care. I'll be back. I should try a death world? Nah. That's one thing that I don't do ever is play with biters. I don't do biters. They are not a good mechanic, in my opinion. And I have expressed this many times. Many times I have expressed this. I just don't do batters. Hello, Ollie. Ollie comes up to say hello and then leaves. Or at least looks like he's gonna leave. What did I need to grab from here for here? Nothing? Nothing? Tra-la-la? I needed the stack inserters, and I got them, so off I go. Yeah, I could do, like, marathon settings that increases science costs by a lot to force building bigger. I would be okay with that, but not so much having biters or anything that deals with biters. I don't like that mechanic. Hello, Ollie. Welcome. Welcome to the back of the chair. Welcome to my background. Hello. Pretty boy. He's grooming. He's grooming behind my head. The sleek boy. Okay, give power, please. And name these stations. So we are... Bombonium gives what? The same. It is the sulfuric. So this is supplying sulfuric waste at Bob Chunks 1. Request sulfuric acid at Bob Chunks 1. Request crushed Bob at Bob Chunks 1. Supply Bob Chunks 1. Depot Bob Chunks 1 applied times 3, and then you are sulfuric waste at Bob Chunks 1. You have a cat named Frank that when you play lays on the keyboard at the wrong times. Yes, exactly. Would I consider doing a Xander mod playthrough? I have not heard of Xander mods. Like, it's a familiar name, but it's nothing I've ever actually looked into. I will look at it and see, make a determination. I would consider Die World when it's closer to finished, because it's not remotely finished right now. I would consider... I need red geodes. I would consider lots of other things, like obviously not Industrial Revolution, downgrading to 0.17 or whatever. Not gonna happen. But most other stuff is on the agenda. I have a Crastorio playthrough going. Thing is, there's not really too many other major overhauls I haven't looked at and made a determination about. Like, I'm not doing space exploration until such time as all of the mechanics that can destroy your stuff have options to disable them. Hello? I have haunches. I have haunches on my back. Hi. Hey. Would you not paw... Would you not paw my green screen? Mr. Ollie, would you not hook your hooks into my green screen? I heard Dolly. I heard Dolly. She's also here somewhere. She jumped something. What did I need? I ran out of a thing, and I came here to get a thing, and I forgot what the thing was. Normal situations. The liquefiers. That's what I need. Mark II liquefiers is what I came up here for. Heading on back as Ollie continues being Ollie and getting lots of attention. So, yeah, I don't really like space exploration because of the mechanics that destroy the stuff that you've spent time building. Like, that's... No. Don't do that. That's not good. In my mind, I don't enjoy that. That's not, for me, fun. It's not why I play this game. I don't like playing a game where I have to keep rebuilding the stuff that I've already built over and over again because of random meteor. And I also don't like that it doesn't work with RSO. I don't like that it doesn't work with, or has marked as incompatible, many mods that are quality of life mods that are absolutely compatible. They're just marked so because the author of space exploration does not want you using those mods for their own sense of balance purposes. It's like that's not what that feature is for. of marking things as not compatible. Like, what? There's lots of decisions that are made with, say, space exploration that I just don't like. I'm sure once you get to the phases of the game where it actually starts giving you content, that it's okay. But the problem is you have to get there. You have to get to the stuff to not have the asteroids / meteors be as much of a hindrance to you. And I don't like the process of getting there. I just don't. Alright, this is the sulfuric acid in. Yes, I know there are ways to defend yourself, but no. You have to get there, and that's my problem. And yeah, just an inherent problem behind a lot of Factorio mods just in general is they've purposefully slow things down and make things boring. For no good reason. That's also why I'll never play Omnimatter, because it very purposefully slows down the experience for no good reason and adds literally nothing for you to do during that downtime besides sit and do nothing for 10 hours while you wait for one thing to happen. That's terrible design. Terrible design. Boring. I will not sit there and waste my time with those types of situations. That's why I hate early game Factorio. It's like, what? Early game Factorio feels the same way. The whole burner phase. At least in Factorio, if you know what you're doing, you can get out of the burner phase within 20-30 minutes. Not so with a lot of the overhaul mods that exist that end up extending it for like an hour, 2 hours, or more, with extended periods of nothing to do besides wait for plates to happen. Like, no, this is bad design. There should never be a point where you have nothing to do. Anyway, I came up here for stuff, and I fully respect anyone who decides to not continue to play the game because it's boring early. Like, base Factorio, as well as other, like, everything. Mods and such. Like, if you're bored early, before a mod gets into the actual full experience. I came here for pumps. I need pumps. Pumps. Where are my pumps? These are offshore pumps. I need regular pumps, not offshore pumps. Where are regular pumps? Please tell me I'm making regular pumps. Those are offshores. Am I not making regular pumps? You have got to be kidding me. What? Okay then. Regular old pumps. And of course they take a type of pipe that I'm not actually making right now. Oh, trust me, I set stuff to go faster. Like, I increase the time speed. Like, even the Pi Suite, I increase the time speed by considerable margins. Just to... because you make stuff very slowly. But at least in the Pi Suite, there's always something to do. Almost always something to do. in the Pie Suite. Almost always something to do. So it's a slog, but you can get through it because there's, generally speaking, always something to do, or always something you really should be doing, like getting trees, getting wood from trees, assuming you've got forests around you, or finding forests, exploring for forests, and the like. Yes, I can see why that people can choose to bear with it and enjoy the rest of the experience. But like, if you can't overcome the beginning of the game, then that's fine. That speaks volumes to the quality of the work. If a person can't get past the beginning of the game because they find it boring, then they are within their rights to call the whole thing boring and stop playing it / request refunds as well because they didn't enjoy the experience. That is the biggest problem with Factorio inherently, is just it's slow, and at the start it starts too slowly, and that is by design, and it is, in my opinion, not a good design for it to be that way. There should be more things to do during that slow period. It can still be slow, but like these things are not mutually exclusive. You can have slow progression as well as have things to do during that slow progression. That is pretty much the entire basis of the Pie Suite, inherently. It's like there's so much stuff to do that even though it is a very slow experience, you will always have something to do and work on. But anyway, I am digressing. Let's get back over to this stuff over here. Bobmonium, the bobbest of Bob. You need to do the red geodes. Process these red geodes for me. And I need to hook up the doohickey here. What? Oh, what? Oh, I may have made a slight error somewhere, but oh well. There you go. There are times at the very beginning of the game where you are literally waiting on plates in order to actually build the things that to use to mine. And there's nothing to do. You can walk around, and that's about it. You can manually mine, but who the freaking hell is going to manually mine? Like, just, no. Not gonna happen. That's the point I'm trying to make, is there are periods where you have to literally wait for resources by design. You must wait for resources where it is actually impossible to continue to progress without having plates, because you're limited by plates. And you can't make any additional infrastructure because you don't have plates. So let's see, this is sulfuric waste at Bob Chunks. Supply depot, bulk cargo circuit condition, and you can be set to automatic. And if you're new to an experience, of course you're gonna do things wrong. Like that, of course you're not going to know what you're not doing, what you're doing wrong early on. So, and there's no guidance to show you what you're doing wrong. I mean, sure, if you're experienced with the thing and you know what you're doing, then yeah, there's a minimal amount of alleviation. But if the whole point is that if you're new and you're trying to make a determination of whether to continue playing this new experience where you are guaranteed to make some degree of mistakes over the course of things, you are well within your right to say and quit when things get slow and there's nothing to do. Yes, mixing train types. I know. Supply and depot, full cargo circuit condition. Go, do your magic. The simple fact is that these crawler locomotives are better than the petrochem trains locomotives. These are 800 acceleration power, 300 max speed. The other ones are like they're less than 300 max speed. Better max speed is better. They are faster. Faster is faster. I don't know if you know this, but faster is faster. More opportunities for trains to destroy me. Just completely destroy me. Did I ever switch you? Yes, I did. And the thing? Yes, I did. Good. Make sure all these pumps are done. So who's gonna live here? And then you get into the issue of, well, how many games of Factorio have people actually completed that they've started? How many times have people started a game that they never finished? Because they determined that they did something slightly incorrectly / didn't want to fix, even though you can totally fix any issue, or are playing with biters and just got overwhelmed by the evolution mechanic, didn't build things in a way that was adequate. Excuse me? What? Go away. Those. Like, you experience, even with existing players, you experience the early game way more often than anyone would care to admit. And it just drags, and drags, and drags. Here's a question. How many of you use an alternative start mod for Skyrim? I'll bet most people. Because you don't want to go through that opening cutscene over and over and over and over again each time you want to start playing the game with a fresh character. Similar problems here. So this is not This is a problem that's pretty ubiquitous in gaming in general. It's very hard to get right. Do I have an idea for what mods you could play on what map for a challenge to see if you can win the game? I mean, Pie Suite with biters. If you want a challenge, play the Pyanodon's mod suite without any additional overhaul mod stuff, shenaniganry as part of it, because that makes it easier. And play it with biters enabled. I would suggest slowing the evolution factor down considerably. If one chooses to do that, I need overflow valves, apparently. Back again to get overflow valves. Also, switch to... Oh, I was on the wrong thing. I need to do this anyway. Probably still have the overflow valves. I do not. So not only was I on the not correct ammo type for my nanobots, but I also didn't actually have any of the overflow valves. Yay! Let's get more. And let's not forget that I'm going up here to get more overflow valves. I'm just looking at the time and I've got like 20 more minutes in today's stream. Let's figure out something to talk about for another 20 minutes. Oh boy. I mean, yeah, you don't need permission from me to use whatever mods you want. With natural evolution enemies, yeah. See, the Pie Suite was not inherently designed to be played with biters. Just as a for reference, Pie Suite is designed to be a very slow burn experience with loads of things to figure out and do. There's lots of learning and planning and just yeah, it's big, really huge on planning. Really huge on planning. Make sure you know how to use Hellmod and use it ubiquitously with the Pie Suite. It was not inherently designed with biters in mind. It was not inherently designed with biters in mind. So, however, Pyanodon is working, eventually, on getting a new pack out for the Pie Suite that will be called Pie Aliens. And that will be the thingy. That will be the thingy. I'm not finished with Bobmonium yet. Or am I? Am I? Did I? Here. Yes, I didn't actually load it into the thing. I see. But I still need to grab my overflow valves. Great question. Where are my overflow valves in here? I am really looking forward to being able to actually set up proper logistic stuff. Overflow valves? Oh, overflow valves? Am I really not? There. Over here. I did plan. And scheme. And scheme and plan. Yeah, there have been people who have tried playing the Pie Suite with, what the heck's that mod called again? The one that makes spiders insane. Whatever the heck that is. I've forgotten the name of it. Not natural evolution enemies, but, blah. Yes, blah. Whatever it is. The really bad one. That makes them really tough and angry and wanting to destroy all your stuff all the time. Have I thought about doing multiplayer? No. The thought has never crossed my mind. And I have never done anything with the replay system either, so there's that too. I guess first thing is to take care of that Bobmonium, missing the input onto the train, / local, whatever. Let's get that loaded in. The irony of not doing Rubite processing on top of the Rubite patch, by the way. Like, shouldn't I be doing Rubite on the Rubite patch? Like, that would have made sense. Rampant, yes, that's the one. That's the one. People have tried to play the Pie Suite with Rampant in the past, and it has not ended particularly well. As in, ended particularly quickly. That's the better way to word that, as in, it ended particularly quickly. Because it's just, the Pie Suite just isn't designed for that. For biters, period, let alone more difficult biters. And I know that the developers for this game have tried to frame biters as a production challenge, to which I say, enjoy one of my 3 fingers here at that concept, because that's just a load of bull, and it's an excuse. For a bad mechanic. What do I want this to be? Not the Rubite. Jiv? Jiv gives the fluoric. Protinium gives the chloric. Rubite gives the nitric. I say not the Rubite here, because the Rubite will require an additional line over this. I didn't actually... yes I did. I didn't actually limit the train. Oops. Wait, you think I'm actually good at driving this car? Ha 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 ha. Well, vehicle snap helps. But, yeah. That should be 3. Let's just say that there's a reason why I no longer play with alien biomes. Because alien biomes adds rocks. Everywhere. Everywhere. There are rocks. And, yeah, I have a tendency of hitting every single freaking rock that exists on the map. I have what I need for the silicon, right? Pretty sure. Okay, so then I have to deal with this fluoric wastewater. F-L-U-O-R-I-C. Supply F-L-U-O-R-I-C waste at Jiv. Fluoric. Sulfuric acid at Jiv chunks 1. Request crushed Jiv at Jiv chunks 1. supply Jiv chunks. Yes, Jiv chunks. 1, confusing myself. Depot, Jiv chunks. 1. And this is depot for fluoric waste at Jiv chunks. 1. F-L-U-O-R-I-C. F-L-U-O-R-I-C. Try Factorio and the RPG. I mean, no. RPG mechanics applied to 1.8 with Factorio. I've heard of lots of mods having incompatibilities with Factorio. I have heard of this. This was light. This is purple. Purple geodes. If you're playing without Pyrot ores, the Jaw Crusher has a car as an ingredient. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I don't know why you'd play without Pyro, but there you go. There, that's required. That's required. Did I do that here? Yes. Yes, I did. Okay, Jivalite. Let's bring in your sulfuric acid. There's no getting around the sulfuric acid in any of these. And the crushed Jiv. I likely do not have enough crushed Jivalite to adequately supply this, just so's we all are aware. Ta-da! Jivalite chunks! Glorious Jivalite chunks. Glorious, I say. I need more locomotives. I've used a few locomotives thus far. Oh, see, here I used the Petrochem train locomotive. I used the Petrochem locomotive with the wagons for the sulfuric acid. Once. For that one train. But nah, the crawlers are faster. They are faster, so I will use them forever and ever and ever. Fluoric. Supply depot. Full cargo. Circuit condition. Go. Also, I need to append the Bob chunk sulfuric to that list, as well as set up the Bob chunks. The Bob chunks 1, and then also we can set up the Jivalite chunks. Whoops, Jivalite chunks. Djiv chunks, and the fluoric wastewater. Fluoric waste at Jiv chunks. There we go. Oh god, that's 4. 4 down. 2 to go, but only 7 minutes left. Oh boy, and I need stuff. Vehicle? Wherefore art thou? I need a vehicle. I need locomotives. There you are. Hello, locomotives. There are a few in my vehicle. Since I tried pi block, I should try C block. You know that whole conversation we had about the slow start issue? C block. In a nutshell. All of my issues with C block. I've tried to play C block, but I don't. I have mixed feelings. Okay, I have mixed feelings with C block. I don't agree / I don't like the C block pack set of mods. Exactly. I don't like that specific set for a few of the mods that are in it. I feel like it changes the experience a bit too much to be no longer resembling like Bob's Angels, because it adds a whole thing that completely changes science to something completely else. It's like, this is no longer the same experience. And again, I absolutely play at like times, I think my computer can do like times 13 speed or times 10 speed. I do that. I set it to go fast to compensate. I shouldn't have to, but I do. And I can get through part of it. It's just I think there's some balance stuff that I would improve. Like, it's getting landfill is just too slow. It's too much of a balancing act between choosing to get plates for buildings and choosing to get landfill for the places for those buildings. Like, it feels too much like you have to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, manual modifications really early on to get enough space for enough infrastructure to get stuff going for you, to even get into basic automation. And then, yes, it upgrades, it gets better once you get into the tech, but it's just, yeah, I've mixed feelings. Mixed feelings. So we've got Jiv chunks here. Supply to depot. And if you play it without the C block pack, without the tech mod that's included with that, well, you end up with a bit of a resource mismatch between iron copper, and it changes the amounts of iron and copper that you need, because the sciences become more vanilla sciences rather than what's done for the C block pack, whatever mod that adds in. Science Cost Tweaker, I think, is the name of that particular mod. You're doing full cargo circuit condition. There you go. You're good to go. You're done. Jiv is done. I've got like 3 minutes left for this stream, so I will almost lose my vehicle and everything in it because of train. Thank goodness it was braking to get into the station. Oh boy. Let's place down what infrastructure I can of what remains here. I have 2 other stations. It looks like I have an entire train station as well that needs to get placed down, and yeah, so this'll take us the rest of the time today. You really want to send me that replay, huh? Well, how big is a replay file? I don't know how big a replay file is. Like, I do have a Discord. I would say you can post it for everyone on my Discord. The link to wherever to download it, because I guarantee it's going to be too big to directly post on the Discord. Just put it on a file sharing thing and share it on Discord. On the Factorio thing channel. Because I've got that, I've got string shares channel, I've got loads of stuff. Yeah, when you complete the thing. Just on my Discord. You can join my Discord, !Discord if you're not already there. Just in the chat, !Discord. I also have the link in the description below this video. Haha! I can actually say these things now. Because I'm no longer on Twitch streaming, I'm YouTube streaming, so I've got a YouTube description now, rather than panels. That will take getting used to. That absolutely takes some getting used to. Do I have that extra? Yes, I do. Because, yeah, it's a different experience. Definitely different, but hopefully an overall better experience. Yeah, we've had 3% drop frames today, but still. The live experience, I think, is overall a better live experience with YouTube. Thanks to the DVR feature, people can just scrub right on back to the beginning of the stream and catch up. Continue watching, even if the stream ends, you can continue watching all the way to the very end at, like, ×2 speed. Times 1.5, 1.75, whatever you're most comfortable with. The one major downside, though, is because I am not doing the rendering of a local copy anymore of the VOD, that the VODs going forward from the live stream are, well, the exact same experience as the live stream, which means you get all of the dropped frames in that final VOD, as well as you don't get the break cut out too. It's like, what I would do when I would render the VODs is I would remove the 3-ish minute break period, for example. Like, why keep that in? If I'm splitting the videos, I would split the videos into 2 separate videos, and I would split it at the break and cut out the break completely. And I don't get my end screen on the things either on those VODs. Now, could I still render my own VODs? Yes, technically, but then you don't get the live chat anymore. Could I trim out the break in the VOD? Yes, but again, that actually completely eliminates the live chat from the replay. Which the whole point is to have the live chat in the replay. That's part of the point, and I'd rather not risk killing the live chat. And also, it seems like YouTube has to process the video a certain amount before you even get the live chat replay, so let's keep that in mind too. It has taken some time on there. But anyway, with that, folks, it is a couple minutes past the hour, meaning that it is time to wrap up the stream for the day today. I've gotten through, in terms of progression here, the production of Sapphirite, Stereotyte, Bobmonium, and Givolite chunks. They're all being made and loaded onto my train network. The next item over here is probably gonna be the Crotinium. This will likely be the Crotinium, and then down below, which will actually require a bit more infrastructure than this, will be the Rubite processing, because the Rubite will need more of that than we I've currently planned out, if I go to my big list here, in order to get 15 of each of these ore types and 7.5 of the fluorite ore, it's going to need significantly more, 50% more rubite than the other stuff. And I don't actually need any crotinium chunks at this phase of the game, but I am setting it up anyway to have it. To have it. And then after I do all this, I have to do like 4 more train stations processing the wastewater for each of these into stuff. I would want to do something with all of this wastewater. Like I can get into stuff to get into fluorine through this wastewater, stuff to get into nitric acid with this wastewater, stuff to get into hydrochloric acid with this wastewater. Would be nice. Would be nice anyway. And for reference, you've said that with map size being infinite, you have one of your worlds being so big. The thing about the world is it's only as big as how much as you've revealed of it. That's step one. The map is only as big as what you've revealed of it. The limits to the world, yes, is approximately equivalent to the physical area of the continental United States. It's a little big, but you can limit it to whatever you want in the startup settings. Like you can make your world smaller. You can define how big your world is on an X and Y chunk size. So if you do want to have some sort of a size limit, I know that people do this ribbon world challenge where they define a limit on an X or Y axis, relatively small limit, and then just build up or down or left or right, and only have that as an area. And then of course if you play with the biters on, you end up with roadblocks along the way that you have to deal with from the biters, but you know that you will never get attacked from the whole radius around you. You can only get attacked from one end or the other at any given time, which that would probably be a type of game that I would play with biters, right? That would be an experience that I would think would be okay for me. Playing with biters would be that sort of like ribbon world situation where you have a bit more control over your defenses, and you can just cheese the map a little bit. But yeah, anyway, yeah, you revealed so much. You have 1 frame and 1 UPS. Well, yeah, maybe don't reveal quite as much in the future. In future maps, that would be the first thing to consider, because yeah, I know a lot of people as well. I've done this in the past. I just do a command to reveal a big area, and that spawns in chunks, and that increases the size of your save too, by revealing a lot of the map. There is a mod to delete empty chunks that I would suggest that you install to use on that map if you aren't actually doing anything in those unrevealed or those revealed sections of the map that you've revealed. Just use delete empty chunks, and the stuff, unless you've made a modification to the startup settings or like spawn settings of things, everything that was revealed should still be there when it gets re-revealed. I mean, the code runs again to do the spawning, but if nothing's changed in the middle on the algorithm for spawning, it should still spawn the same thing in the same spot. But yeah, delete empty chunks would be a mod I would suggest for anyone who has revealed a little bit too much of their map and are experiencing some difficulties there. But anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here with this nice view of the entire base as it stands. We've added this great big chunk down here to the bottom of my map, of my factory. This great big area to do chunks. We can do chunks over here. We're doing them, and then we'll do leaching on the other side. And I've got a great big high throughput intersection here for future proofing of my rail network. We've got a lot of text from all of these train stops everywhere. Let's turn that off to get a better view of the actual design of the infrastructure here. I'm liking it. I'm liking it thus far. But I need more. I need to scale more with more stuff and things for everything. However, with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you have enjoyed today's video and today's stream and the series thus far, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Please consider hitting that great big blue join button, becoming an erudite otaku, and turning that button gray. It would be much appreciated. Similarly, you can help support this channel, my continued existence, through Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able. And I will, of course, see you all on Thursday for the next one. See you all then.